we will create an Azure Virtual Machine that hosts SQL Server. So for that, first need to connect to Azure portal. So we have connected here. You see that to Azure portal. Let me maximize a little bit. Then from here to create an Azure Virtual Machine, you can just click here that create a resource and search for an example. We are going to set up SQL Server 2019. So here SQL Server 2019 on Windows Server. There is some 22. Now from here you can see that option here, like to select the option which one you would like to select. So there is one option is for free SQL Server license, so click that one and click on create. So here first it's looking for a because we can create if a resource group is already there, and if not, then you can just create a new one. So for now I'm going to create a new one, so click create new and give a name for this is for Azure VM. So a VM resource group 01. Next we need to give a virtual machine name. So give a virtual machine name. So this is SQL VM. So let's just give me SQL VM 01. Then select the region. Here I am going to select East US. Then there is the option for availability option. So you can select the availability option that you want. One thing that all the information, like you said, that if you click the information button, you can get information based on that. If I say the service or item, you can get information from there. So now here you see that there are different images. You can click on see all images to get all the information, like the image you want. So and you can filter, like if you want CentOS base or Microsoft or Debian or Linux, whatever, you can filter that one here. But for now I'm going through this one, so let me go to back button. So click create. So this is for SQL VM 01. The name is SQL VM 01 is STUS. Then availability option, I just consider the default option, but there is an availability set, zone or virtual machine skill set. You can select based on your requirement. So now security type, I select the default here. Now here is that don't want to use spot instead, so I'm not selecting that one. Now size, under here is that there are different size for this VM. So select to get the size. You can click on see all its sizes, and from here you can select that one. So this is fine for me. Here it's 2 CPU and 8 GB RAM. So you can get the details below. Down here you can also see the cost per month, so you can get information there, and then select the VM shape you want. So click select. Now next is we need to pass the administrator account and password. So let me put admin user. So it's I can put Azure admin password. Password should be 12 character at least. So now there is a inbound port rules. So and this is for RDP connection here. So that is fine for me. 3389. Then licensing. Next tab is disk. So disk based type, they are using that OS disk type. Here you can select the disk type. There are different disk type and that you can select. So I'm selecting here premium SSD is fine. So and again you can get information, you know, that information option, you can click that and you can get more information about the item options, if I say. So you can get information. Now encryption type here, this is default one is fine for me. Click advanced, I'm fine what the options there. The default one, click on networking. So here you can select like virtual network, or if you create a new one, or otherwise you can consider the default one. So it will ultimately, you see that here it's new, so it will create a new virtual network, new subnet and public IP behind the scenes. But if you want, you can create a new one, and you can also select after creating all those virtual network and subnet. So network security group basic is fine here for me, and public inbound ports, that's also fine. Let's go for management. Okay, let me check here. So network interface. Okay, next management section. Disable boot diagnostic. I don't want to do that one. So every time it will boot, it will do a diagnostic, which I don't want to go for that one. And considering all default. Next, advanced. Fine with all the default value. Server setting. Here so SQL connectivity is private, so within a virtual network, which is 1433 port number, and SQL authentication we can select enable, and the Azure admin password we pass, so it will be that one. And so that is default fine. Now here you see that stress configuration. So by default, or what it is showing here, that it will create a three storage section, if I say so. One is data with the size and IOPS limit here, then log, and then another one is temp DB. If you want, you can change the configuration and define the values that based on your requirements. So click OK here. Discard, I don't want to change anything, so just discard here. Next, tagging. I can give a name like this is SQL VM, and value is SQL VM. Tagging is better, like if you like to delete, I know that just to make sure that it's something I have done that one. Now next click on review and create. So the validation is in progress. So validation passed. Now we'll click create to deploy the virtual machine. So you see that first it was initialized, now it's submitting the deployment, and deployment in progress. So here you can also see that on deployment is in progress. You can see that notification here. From here you can click, you can see the details anytime. So it will take a few minutes. Let me pause here now. So deployment is still in progress, but you can see that here from side you can get all the input information for this provisioning, and from output you will see when that it's running, and when that will finish you can see the output. You can also get the template. So like for next time to redeploy, you can save this template and modify all the variables based on your requirements. And you can see all the resources down below. Go back to overview page again, and near right side you can see the operation details. So you can also do redeploy. So let me pause again. So deployment is complete. You can go here, like go to resource. So from here you can see that an Azure Virtual Machine is ready. So let me first set up firewall role. Let me try first with connection. If we get any issue, then we will set that up. So let me check that. So here connect, I'm going to RDP connection. So click on RDP. And here you see that option for download RDP file. So click on that. So now double click that one to open that RDP session. So I'm getting this side. So click on connect. So now enter credential for that the Azure VM. So Azure VM. So pass the ID, that user connect user ID and password, then click on OK. So you're getting message that the identity of the remote computer cannot be verified. Do you want to connect anyway? So this warning message, we can ignore that one. So click yes. So RDP session is initializing. It may take few minutes to set up that Windows module installer. So let me pause here. So ignore this message for now. Close button. So there, server manager page. can go to all those information like for this particular server. You can get the details. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to let me go to the Explorer, File Explorer. Let me close the window. So now here you see those disks that that three disk. It was showing that data disk, log disk, and temp disk. C drive is this. This is the system disk. So now, if you would like to add, if we need to add any additional disk, what we will do. So let me go through that one. Let's go back to portal, and there you see that under settings there you see the disk. So click on disks, and here down below you see the disk name. So let me create and attach a new disk. So if you have you can create a disk and you can attach with some server. So here I am doing both at the same time, so I can just click and attach a new disk. So give a disk name. So I'm going to create a new disk. So let's give a name that something you can say test data disk, and this is disk name, and then there is a storage type. So you can select there is a different storage option. For now I can select as an example like standard SSD to minimize the cost. Then there are sizes, so you can select the size that you want. I'm just giving 100 GB as an example, and there's a maximum IOPS, so you can select that one. So let all other default, and here then when that is done you just click on save button. So it's creating a disk. You can see that is in progress, so you can click on there. Okay, so cancel that one. You can see that from here. So successfully created disk and updating virtual machines. So when that is done, then we'll go to virtual machine that we created and we'll see that one. So virtual machine also successfully updated virtual machine entry. So you can get from notification, you can get that information here. So now let's go to VM, and if we refresh here, you cannot see that the disk here. So for that we need to what will I say, we need to go through to mount that disk. So let me go through that one. So let's go down from here, start. So click on right button or right mouse click, then click on server event viewer device manager, disk management. So click on disk management. So now you see that it's you must initialize a disk before a logical disk manager can access that one. So select that this is the new disk, and we just select that one, click OK. So it's initialized, then we can select that one. Now if I go down, so this is the unallocated disk. So click here and click right click and new sample volume. Now for that we need to go into format option. So we need to click on next. This is the size here in the specify volume size, then click next. Then here you see the letter, it's getting the drab letters, so it's considering that default one. You can change that one if you want. As an example, like I can give O, then click on next. Now here is that volume label, so you can define a label here. So like if I want anything like to, so I just give that one and then use that perform a quick format. So click next. Now it's completing the new simple volume widget. You can see all this information, then click on to close this widget, click finish. So now if you get back to here, File Explorer, you can see drive now, like Kochu drive, it's a new drive, is here now. So we have created like additional drive. So we will now, what we will do, we'll create a database using like this new data disk. So for that, let me go through Management Studio. So here, click on Management Studio. So next page here, that it's just selected that the server we created, and you see that we authentication is Windows authentication. That is fine. Click on connect. So here you see the database. So let me go to File Explorer. New folder. We are creating a new folder. Just so here, click on database. Click a new database. Give a name. So I just give a name, database name, owner default, and then if you look here, let me expand. It has got the data file path and log file path name. So here I would like to change that to a new one, so that I created. So that is all, and select that test data for data files. Log is still that old drive is fine, old folder. Then I can, okay, this is better. So now if I click here, you will see that it's like a new database is created here. And if I go back to the file system, File Explorer, you can see that and I cancel that one because it's a system file. So ultimately it's creating a data file path that the new drive we created. So that's all for this lesson. So thank you. So now let's clean resources to minimize the cost. For that, what we can do, we can just go to Azure Portal Console, and let's go to resource group, and we created the resource group SQL VM 01. So we can, after going that resource group, we can all the services that we can create here, we can delete one by one. But it's like if you do not need any services like from this resource group, that's the beauty. You can just delete the resource group, so it will delete all the services from that resource group. So click delete resource group and give the resource group name. Okay, let me show you how you will do individual one. So like if I would like to delete this SQL Virtual Machine, so select that one, and there is the option, you can see that delete. If you click delete, it will ask you to put the virtual machine name. So but I would like to delete everything from this resource group. Therefore I'm going to resource group SQL VM 01 and delete resource group. Click delete. So from notification you will see that a new task is coming, that deleting resource group. So it will delete all the services inside that resource group. And that's it for this lesson. Thank you. If you like this one, please subscribe to my channel and share with others.